Imagine a life driven by one extraordinary mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. That's the unstoppable mission of today's guest, Dave Meltzer. David is the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute, legendary sports executive, author, entrepreneur, and the host of the Playbook podcast. From revolutionizing sports and entertainment world as CEO of Lee Steinberg's Sports and Entertainment, the agency that inspired Jerry Maguire to becoming one of the planet's most influential entrepreneurs, investors, and business coach. David has the knack for creating an impact on a global scale. Named the Sports Humanitarian of the Year by Variety Magazine and awarded the most prestigious Ellis Island Medal of Honor, David is also the mastermind behind hit shows like 2 Minute Drill, Elevator Pitch. Whether you've seen him in The World's Greatest Motivators or Think and Grow Rich, one thing's clear: David delivers value in everything he does. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind this extraordinary journey, his passion for empowering others, and how you too can create success, happiness, and purpose. Let's dive into this conversation with the legendary David Meltzer.
Welcome to Power Your Profits podcast, your friendly guide in bringing your business revenue to the next level. Listen as host Dr. Susie Carder hears inspiring stories of success from her fellow entrepreneurs and transformational leaders. Prepare to make significant change to your strategies as they unravel the secrets of building multi-million-dollar businesses and the most effective tips on finance, marketing, and sales accountability. If you want to take your first steps towards explosive business growth, this podcast is for you. Without further ado, here is your host, Dr. Susie.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for everyone to meet you. Our entrepreneurs are slamming, they are rocking and rolling. So I think you are a secret weapon that we've all been missing. So let's talk a little bit about your incredible mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, because that's a big goal. And that's not just a goal, David, that's a movement. So tell us about this audacious vision and how it came about.
You know, it is my mission to empower over 1 billion people. And what I realized when my 12-year-old daughter's best friend committed suicide was that we have an epidemic. The fastest growing cause of death in almost every demographic is suicide. And that means that we have a problem understanding how to be happy, because happy people don't kill themselves. Right. And so I looked at my capability, the skills that I had developed over the last 35 years, the knowledge of not only what, but who I knew, and also the desire that I had to be of service and of value, to live up to my name, which my mother named me David Meltzer, which means beloved servant, but to live up to my name, to figure out how can I align the skills, knowledge, and desire that I have to help people with this epidemic of people not feeling passionate, not feeling purposeful, not feeling alive, and not feeling profitable. And when I took inventory to try to solve this epidemic, I found that I had 3 capabilities. I had always been great at making money, helping people, and having fun. And just like I realized,
my brother from another mother, because that's me too.
Exactly. That's why I love you, and that's why I'm here. And because I need, and you'll tell when I explain to you how I'm going to get there, I need you, Susie, because my expertise in making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun, I need to find 1,000 people like you that will empower 1,000 people like you to empower 1,000 people like you, because 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000, and 1,000,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000,000. And if I can empower in my lifetime or yours over 1 billion people to be happy, I can change the world. I can change the collective consciousness. I can not only slow down the epidemic, but I can eradicate it by creating particles of light everywhere. And everybody knows that one particle of light overcomes 1,000,000 particles of darkness. And you can be that particle of light when you understand the values, the daily practices, the execution model, and even the incentives that are involved in making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, having a lot of fun, to live in the infinite loop of giving, to live in the abundance of the infinite system of thought that is providing the wisdom that we need, as well as the faith that there's something omniscient and all powerful and all knowing, something bigger than us that loves us more than our mom. And we together, people like you and I, Susie, we can
Yeah.
change the world and make it a happy place.
That's what I'm talking about. So I know people are saying amen while they're driving around listening to this. So let's talk about that, because you have 5 daily practices, right? It's the magic formula for your life. Could you share what those are so that we can see, we can emulate, right? My pastor always said, emulate, don't imitate, right? The best practices. So share those with me.
I love that. And you have to emulate it and make it your own. So
Yeah.
if you need a 6 daily practice thrown in there, or you only like 4 of them, good for you and good on you, as long as you're utilizing daily practices that are yours, aligned with your divine direction of where you want to be or better, and that you align the meaning of the past, because we have the power to change. To change the meaning of our past. And we want to align the meaning of our past with our divine direction. And so I created these 5 daily practices. You create your practices, emulate mine, make them your own, because I want you to get to where you want to be or better. I want the behaviors in the daily practices to be aligned with you and where you want to be, because good behavior is simply behavior that's aligned with where you want to be. Bad behavior is interfering with where you want to be. Not where I want you to be, not where other people want you to be, what's missing, what you don't have, but where you want to be. So the first daily practice is to know what you want each day according to the circumstances of the day. What do I want personally, experientially, business, receiving and giving wise? What do I want today according to the reality of today? Because there's no certainty in a day except for time. Everybody's guaranteed the exact same amount of time. Everybody works on the same amount of time, meaning if I asked you, let's meet tomorrow in New Jersey at noon Eastern time, and if we're both on time, we'll be there the same time. But if I asked you, hey, let's be there when we're hungry, we'll never meet. And so the only certainty is time in the future. And so the certainty otherwise exists within us. And that's why it's important to take inventory of what we want, because that exists in us. And if we align that according to the circumstances of the day, applying time in a divine direction, when we know what we want, it takes the nothingness that most people live in, which causes that suicidal tendency, that nothingness of living your life like a tube, food in and food out.
Right.
Instead, we got possibilities today because I know what I want. And then to take it to the next level, how do I turn my possibilities into probabilities, a mathematical advantage? I have to know the fastest way to get to where I want to be, where in what I want. What is that? Know who sits there already. The fastest way to get to where you want to be is know who you can ask help from and who you can help. Fastest way to get to where you want to be is ask someone that's already there to give you directions, and ask someone if they need directions to get to where you want to be. The third daily practice is know your how. How am I going to use the 24 hours a day, the guarantee of God, that every day I'm guaranteed 24 hours to do whatever I want to do in alignment with where I want to be, or interfere with where I want to be, except for the last day of my life. Susie, we're cheated only one day of our entire life. Every human being, no matter how long you live, you are only cheated one day, the last day. Seconds, minutes, or hours, you're cheated. Otherwise, God's guarantee is there for everyone. You're guaranteed 24 hours a day. So use it in the divine direction that you want to be in. Know how to get there by understanding the 24 hours and creating non-negotiables. Your sleep, your health, your family, your finance, your faith, your time, maybe you study like I do, or relativity of everything else. I study it in a non-negotiable way. I apply my minimum of 7 hours of my sleep, another 3.5 hours to the family, the health, the finance, the time study, the relativity study, the faith study. That leaves me 13.5 hours of awake time to do whatever I want according to the circumstances of the day. You see, knowing your how, the 90% of your success will come from the non-negotiable behavior, regardless of the circumstances of the day. I'm going to sleep 7 hours. I'm going to spend a certain amount of time with my family, my faith, my finance, my relativity, and studying time. But the other 13.5 hours, I'm going to live in variance. I'm going to enjoy life's lessons by trying to prioritize the circumstances of the day with the divine direction of where I want to be or better. Which leads me to the important fourth practice, which is know your now. Learn to know your now, because if you know your now and know your next, 100% of the things you do now get done. You will be so much more statistically successful than anyone else, knowing that 100% of things you do get done. And so we have to have the antidote to feeling overwhelmed. We have to have the antidote to feeling procrastinating, feeling lost or stuck. And that antidote's called prioritization. And the only way we can prioritize is if we know what's important to us according to the circumstances of the day and our non-negotiable behavior. Prioritization is the antidote to procrastination and feeling overwhelmed. It's impossible to feel overwhelmed or procrastinate if you're doing what you're doing now and doing what you're doing next. And so that then takes the probability and perspective into a reality. Once you do it, it's now materialized and it can be monetized, which allows us to what? Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. And so the last practice is the most important practice. Most people are in search of their why. They're in search of their purpose. They're in search of the meaning of life. Let me tell you right now, you're not in search of any of those because it's already there. What you're in search of is to feel alive. And in order to feel alive, we have to apply what we have. We have to apply the meaning, apply the why, apply the purpose. And the way that I've learned to best do this in the application of applying why is not to recognize what I'm afraid of, because that's a lifetime search. It'll cost you millions of dollars in therapy and personal development in order to facilitate even getting a clue of what trauma or what fear you have in your life, which is omnipresent. I suggest spend your time looking for the clues, studying the patterns, making the choices of how you react to fear. You see, what interferes with what I am is what stops us from being all that I can be. And so when I realize that I have a need to be right, or a need to be offended, or a need to be separate, or a need to be inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, worried, imagine if you took all the time of all those reactions to fear, which, by the way, doesn't take any therapy to figure out you're angry, right? It's instant and obvious. You don't need therapy to know you're worried. It's instant and obvious. But what if we took the hours, days, weeks, years, and that we spent, and decades that we spent reacting to fear in the interfering way, and we shortened the distance of resistance through wisdom and faith? And so next time you get angry, next time your mind, body, and soul are on fire, instead of resisting it, going over it, under it, through it, around it, trying to out-logic it, analyze it, instead just stop. Breathe through your nose, drop, remind, remember, recollect with that God of yours, something bigger than you that loves you more than your mommy, and then roll back into your divine direction. Make that detour divine. Allow for the divine time to allow you to know your what, your who, your how, and your now, and continue to live in spirit, inspired by applying your why. And I promise you, if you use these 5 daily practices, you will make a lot of money, you will help a lot of people, and you will have a lot of fun. In fact, everyone in your audience that emails me, david@dmeltzer.com, she'll post it in the notes, david@dmeltzer.com. Not only will I send you the 5 daily practices, I will sign my book. I will send it to you. I will pay for the book. I will pay for shipping, because I'm on a mission with my friend Susie to empower the world to live in abundance, to live with wisdom and faith, to be happy.
I love that, because you talk about the power of giving and shifting your energy, right? And I'm being a student as much as I'm being the teacher, taking notes rigorously, right?
Thank
For
you.
those who might be stuck or feel drained, what's the first step to creating that shift?
Yeah. So what we want to do to get started is to take the time to be blessed. So when you feel stuck, you got to say thank you, because it means that I'm in the pursuit of getting to a bigger room, to getting to a better place, a better situation. You see, if you were at home and you were high on your mom's couch, sick and broke, like so many people that don't feel stuck, you wouldn't know that the doors and the windows were locked. You wouldn't even know that you were stuck. It's only the people that are trying to get to a bigger room, a bigger place, a better situation that feel stuck. And we got to, figure out how to go through the window of the door or find the key in order to facilitate getting to that bigger room. And in order to do so, we're going to have to learn some lessons. We're going to have to utilize the accountability of being responsible, of seeing what we've attracted, of seeing how we've participated in the perception of being where we are and being where we want to be. And so I always say the first step of when we are stuck is to, one, be grateful, two, be forgiving, and then be accountable for learning, what do I need to do to get to the bigger room? And that's where the 5 daily practices come involved, when we ask ourselves, what is it that we're learning, and who can help us and who can we help? And then how best can we figure out, can we go through the door or the window or find the key in order to get to the bigger room, the better place, the better situation?
Well, I love how you say find the door, the key, the window, because there's sometimes when, God shuts a door, right? Nobody talks about the hallway.
Every time when God shuts a door, he's doing it on purpose. You don't
Right.
know, it's the wrong door. It's like The Price is Right. You chose door number 3 and it won't open because he wants you to pick door number 2.
Right. And we're just pounding on that second door, right?
Yeah, and I got to add something because, through being old, I just turned 57 years old, and
We're not old, baby. We are seasoned.
seasoned, yes. And
Yes,
so
we
is
are
Napoleon
seasoned.
Hill. We share a birthday. And one of the things that we have to realize is the idea of wisdom that comes with that experience, but the faith. And you were talking about, the door not opening. And what's interesting is I think that faith goes beyond what most people think faith goes beyond. Let me explain. Most people think faith is when there's no evidence that you can get to where you want to be or better, and you have faith you can still get there. I
Mhm.
say faith in my life is when there is evidence and the evidence is completely contrary to where I want to be or better. It's bankruptcy. I didn't get the deal. I lost my money. I screwed up the relationship. All the different things that occur to us. All that evidence is saying, dude, you're never going to get to where you want to be. It's contrary to what I think. And I believe it's faith that allows me to see that contrary information and evidence is actually promoting me, protecting me, loving and perfecting me. I experienced that when I lost over $100 million, went bankrupt. And the only reason I ever wanted to be rich was to buy my mom a house. And I actually lost that house and she had to move. I couldn't tell you any information or evidence that would be more contrary to being where I wanted to be or better. And here I am 18 years later to tell you there has been no greater promotion, protection, love, or perfection of David Meltzer than when the evidence was so strongly suggesting that it was contrary to me ever getting to where I want to be or better. But for that evidence, I have been promoted, protected, loved, and perfected. And I want everyone to use the wisdom by asking for help and utilizing humility and as well as faith to get to where they want to be. Remember, you're either humble or you're about to be.
Oh my God, amen to that. I wasn't expecting that one.
That's my fave.
Yeah, I would say, totally, being in the space of there's so many people, and I love that you started with your daughter's friend wanting to or did commit suicide, right? Because that is a wake-up call for all of us. And I know being in those darkest moments and everything you just said, that grateful, that forgiving, that accountability, and that having that faith, the humility has you choose, has you get up, has you not stay down, right? There's times when you are in the darkest moment. So I know there are people that are listening that are in their own dark moment. What do you say to them to wake them up, to have them see there is another choice, there is another opportunity? What will you say?
It's the best advice that I ever give and I've ever been given. And it's 3 simple words: ask for help. Uh, to me, the 2 ways to get there, the easiest and fastest and first way is to find someone that sits in the situation you want to be in and ask them for help. And
Mhm.
then 2, the other one is to go help somebody else get to where they want to be. So if you're depressed, anxious, frustrated, angry, suicidal, you got to seek help first because you can't give what you don't have. But somewhere shortly behind asking for help, go volunteer.
Yeah.
Go volunteer. My first advice when people are unemployed, I'm like, go volunteer. Do
Right.
not sit at home. I put up a poll and it showed the difference of the drifters and the non-drifters, as they say in Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. I asked, what would you rather be forced to do? Forced to work or forced not to work? 61% of the people in my poll said I would rather be forced not to work. 29%, the 29% that I'd like to hang out with, understood they would rather be forced to work than forced not to work. And the same holds true. We do need to ask for help first when we're in those positions. When our basement has a basement, the first step is to ask someone to help you get out of the basement. But your next step should be go help somebody else when you get out.
Yes. So let's shift it a little bit. Let's talk about, because we're legendary sports. You still are, right?
Thank you.
Go away. Sports executive who inspired the Jerry Maguire movie. So I have to ask, what's your personal show me the money moment?
You're listening to another episode of Power Your Profits podcast. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Are you tired of pouring resources into strategies that don't work? Say hello to Dr. Susie Carder, your future fractional COO. With Dr. Susie in your corner, your business can skyrocket to 7 figures and beyond. With a track record of creating thriving businesses, trust that you are in good hands. Head over to coo.poweryourprofits.com and let us put some magic into your business growth. Are you tired of struggling to take your business to the next level? Power Your Profits is the game-changing book you've been waiting for. Dr. Susie Carder, creator of the Predictable Success Method, reveals her proven strategies for explosive growth. From daily operations to marketing systems, this comprehensive guide empowers you to achieve predictable revenue and profit growth. Don't miss out on this invaluable wisdom. Transform your business today. Find your copy at books.poweryourprofits.com.
Personal show me the money moment was when I had to tell my mom I went bankrupt. And, to tell you exactly what happened, I couldn't imagine telling anyone in the world. My greatest fear, just like Napoleon Hill says, people actually fear poverty more than they fear death. And my greatest fear growing up in scarcity and making so much money right out of law school, being a millionaire 9 months out, a multimillionaire by the time I was 30, was to be a financial failure. My greatest fear was poverty. And to tell my mom not only that I had lost everything, over $100 million, to tell her that I had lost her home and that she had to move, when the only reason I wanted to be rich was to help her, to buy her a house. Only reason growing up with a single mom who worked 2 jobs, packed my dinner in a paper bag between those jobs with my 5 siblings in a country squire station wagon in the poverty of Akron, Ohio. When I thought to myself and told her what had happened and told her at that time, this is the show me the money moment. I said, Mom, why am I being punished? Oh, sweetheart, you're not being punished. Mom, there is no God. If there was, he would not do this to me. And she said, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God. And so the show me the money moment was to understand that money was not my God. It was beneath my feet. And that the God that was above me was protecting, promoting, love, and perfecting me, even if I didn't understand or know how, even though the evidence appeared to be contrary to my beliefs, my feelings, my thoughts, my words, and my actions. And it's that faith that I gained from my mom's wisdom that has been the show me the money moment. Every time there's a detour in my life, I think of it as divine, not punishment. I think of it as a protection, promotion, love, and perfection, not punishment. I went from being a victim to being the victor because I'm part of a unified, abundant, infinite system of more than enough of everything for everyone. And no longer was I going to live in the zero-sum game, just like the movie Jerry Maguire. No longer was it going to be about trade, negotiation, and manipulation, overselling, back-end selling, lying, manipulating, and cheating like the other agents. I was
Right.
now a super agent, an agent of change for a source much bigger than Lee Steinberg, called God.
Boom. Right. I just I'm like going to church today. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
Okay, so you often say the universe gives you what you want faster than you can focus on service. What's that one moment in your life where serving others came back to bless you in an unexpected way?
Recently, I was appointed the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute, and I have been doing free Friday trainings for 26 years. I've been doing free meetups, holding courts, free Ask Me Anythings. I give my book away for free. I sign them, send them, pay for shipping in the book. And because of that effort, one of my mentors' employees, Bob Proctor, Cleona O'Hara, the head of the Napoleon Hill Institute, came to a dinner of mine where I was talking about the infinite loop of giving and abundance and brought me a pen that Bob Proctor had given her. He's passed away. He's the largest donor of the charity, the Unstoppable Foundation, which I'm the chairman of. And she said, I need your help. Would you be interested in being the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute? Napoleon Hill has had the greatest impact in my personal development and professional development. Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, How to Sell Through Life, the 17 Laws of Success have impacted me since I became a graduate of law school. I became and started my journey. It's the seminal information in personal and professional development that has been tested throughout time. And to be the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute, to have that be part of my legacy alongside of all the different things that I've been able to do, by far, as you can see with him behind me and the logo that we lost on my screen behind me, it's the greatest gift that I have been given.
That is a profound gift. I think that's been one of the foundation for anyone that has any kind of success. Those were our Bibles in the beginning, right? Those first books that introduced us to a different way of thinking, a different mindset. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for who you are in the world. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your honesty and your candor. You can tell that you eat it, drink it, sleep it. Like this isn't a shtick, right? It's so in your DNA of who you are. And what a blessing to have the mom that you had to guide you as the man that you are in the world that wants to make a profound impact, right? No matter what cards were dealt when we're young, because some people would look at it as a tragedy being raised by a single mom, and you're like, I'm going to take care of my family. So thank you for being a man of God. Thank you for being willing to share it. I always laugh when people start whispering, like, are you
Right.
Christian? You're like, why are we whispering? I don't understand. So I love
Yeah.
you can just proudly and profoundly say, here's who we are, right? There's no
Yeah.
reason.
Appreciate our differences, appreciate what we believe. And I appreciate everybody and what they believe. And I hope they have something bigger than them in their life that loves them more than their mom, because life certainly is a lot better when you have something like that in your life.
Amen, my brother. So tell people how they can get a hold of you. I know you dropped your website, and we will have it in the show notes, but I want everyone
Thank
to
you.
hear on social media. And again, the man of the giving heart. You want to give us your book, which I'll put the link in the chat in the show notes so that we can have those. So tell everyone how to get a hold of you and
Please email me directly, david@dmeltzer.com.
wow, what an incredible conversation was one and only David Meltzer. From empowering 1 billion people to unlocking the secrets of success, David has shown us what success and purpose are not just goals, they're a way of life. If you're already fired up to shift your energy, crush your goals, and serve others, go back and listen to this episode again because there are gems being dropped. And hey, don't forget, Dave's giving away his free book. Go snag a copy, start applying the 5 daily practices, and trust me, this is your chance to get the Meltzer magic. Until next time, remember, happiness just isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And who better to show us how to live that life than David? Stay bold, stay sassy. And I'm here till the next time. Share this episode if it's made a difference for you so that somebody else can have the magic that David dropped today.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Power Your Profits podcast. Let these building blocks from today's most successful industry leaders equip you with the necessary resources and tools to finally establish the highly profitable business of your dreams. Want to hear more? Listen to more episodes at www.poweryourprofitspodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. Now is your time to rise to the top of your game. So be sure to catch our next episode. Until next time.